Okay, welcome to Philosophy Online Lecture with MAM. And in this short tutorial, we're going to be talking on uh, advanced epistemology. Okay, so in this, we're going to be considering what epistemology is origin from traditional epistemology to the modern and contemporary era. And so we'll be looking at periods from Socrates to Edmund problem, and then we are going to be considering JTB, uh, trends in epistemology, the fourth conditions which are responses to JTB. Okay, so for this short tutorial, I will be focusing on the background to the study, the concept of epistemology, and traditional epistemology. Okay, so now when we talk about epistemology, we are basically dealing with knowledge. Okay, and we are looking into claims about what constitutes knowledge, how we get knowledge, and so on. Okay, so but a background to the study is that in the ancient period, the focus of the those earliest philosophers was on cosmos, but when it got to the time of Socrates, he started focusing on man and asked the question, "Man, know thyself." Okay, he made the assertion rather that man, know thyself. Okay, so from this period, we are now concerned about man himself and you would see that Socrates was saw himself as a midwife to bet out knowledge from people. Okay, and so from this, epistemology as a discipline started forming up. Okay, now from the time of Socrates to Aristotle and Plato, they held that knowledge is a true belief that comes with justification, irrespective of the fact that they were idealists or materialists, okay, because Aristotle was a materialist and Plato was an idealist alongside with Socrates, okay. But irrespective of every knowledge, it has to be a true belief with justification, okay. And this was why Socrates was not in line or was very critical of the sophists who were the earliest skeptics who hold that we cannot know anything or knowledge is subjective. Okay, but to Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, knowledge is something that is objective, and objective knowledge is any true belief with justification. And this continued even to the modern era of John Locke, René Descartes, and Leibniz, you know, David Hume. Okay, any true belief must come with its own justification. Now, in the contemporary era, this true belief with justification was shaken by Edmund Gettier, okay, who wrote just two pages and questioning the validity of JTB as regards knowledge. Okay, so to Edmund Gettier, in his stance, JTB is only necessary for knowledge, but it is insufficient for a certain knowledge. Okay, so now this is the background to the study. Okay, now let's talk about epistemology. Now, epistemology is a branch of philosophy, and the word epistemology was gotten from two Greek words, episteme and logos. Okay, episteme means knowledge, while logos means reasoning. Okay, so combining those two words, we know that epistemology is the study of knowledge. Okay, so the goal of epistemology is actually to get what is this certain truth, what is that objective knowledge, what is that, how do we know that this is classified as knowledge. Okay, everything that concerns knowledge is what epistemology is concerned about. So if you claim that you know something, epistemology is concerned about you and your claim. Okay, so now we have various types of knowledge in epistemology. We have knowledge of, and this is knowledge of a particular thing or particular event. Okay, I know about the events that happened yesterday. I know who she went with. I, knowledge of certain things. Okay, now the next one is knowledge how, and knowledge how has to do with knowledge of that has to do with actions. Okay, I know how to play football. I know how to cook. That is knowledge how. The next one is knowledge that, and that is propositional knowledge, and that is what we are mainly concerned. Okay, every body of knowledge that we are that contains information that we make claims to is propositional knowledge. Okay, every theoretical knowledge is propositional knowledge, and that is our focus in epistemology. Okay, so and like I said, in the ancient times, Socrates and the sophists had rivalry because of the nature of knowledge, while Socrates held that we can know something objectively. That is, when we say something, an objective knowledge, a knowledge that cannot, that is universal, okay, that everybody knows, okay. So I know this, you listening to me know it, the person sitting next to you knows about this, okay. For example, like every an unmarried man is a bachelor, okay. This is a common knowledge, okay. But the sophists, like Pythagoras and Gorgias, they said that knowledge is relative, that is, knowledge is subjective, or in fact knowledge is not attainable, okay. So to you know uh, justify knowledge, okay, that what is knowledge, that was where we start considering JTB, okay. So I'll be giving you a brief story of how JTB, justified true belief, came out, okay. So it was like a dialogue between Socrates and Tacitus. Okay, Tacitus was a student of Theodorus rather. Okay, so Socrates had a conversation with Tacitus and he asked him what is knowledge. Tacitus first responded by naming things like geometry, arithmetic. Okay, like when they ask you that what is knowledge, you are now mentioning philosophy, social science, political science, But Socrates said that those ones are examples. He told us that those ones are examples and they are not knowledge. When we're asking about knowledge, we're asking about the definition, not examples of knowledge. Okay, so now Tacitus has agreed and went further by saying that knowledge is perception. But as we know that our perception could be deceiving, okay, and for the fact that Plato, a student of Socrates, was an idealist, that is he doesn't believe in knowledge through perception, we would also agree that Socrates will definitely not accept this, okay. And Socrates' response was that perception is kind of relative, okay. So what could mean something to me could mean something to another person, okay. So perception is something different entirely. So Tacitus had to offer a third definition of knowledge, where he said that knowledge is defined as true belief. Okay, so if the Socrates respond that if you say okay, knowledge is true belief, then what is false belief? Okay, now uh, they tried 5 times to bring up a false belief. Okay, and they failed to conjure a false belief. Okay, uh, but Socrates dismissed this definition of true belief as because it could be accidental. Okay, something that you consider to be a true belief could not be a true belief per se. Okay, it could be something that you thought it is right, but it is wrong. Okay, and also for something to be a true belief, okay, and we can also have something that is false belief. Okay, so we have not arrived at our uh, main point of what knowledge is. Okay, so Theaetetus now refined this definition of true belief as knowledge is true belief with an account. Okay, so when you say knowledge is true belief with an account, that is, there's an account that justifies that true belief. Okay, so although it was not explicitly stated that that account that used is justification, but in the contemporary time it means knowledge is justified through belief. Okay, but Tacitus' position was true belief with an account, or logos. Okay, so logos means reason, so true belief with a reason to believe that this thing is a true belief. Okay, so it's more like a justification of true belief. Do you get it? Okay, so that is how we come to JTB. Knowledge is justified through belief, and this was going smoothly. In fact, Plato, uh, a student of Socrates, he said that Socrates argues that if a person can only know something if and only if, one, the person claim is true. Secondly, the person believe the claim which is true. And thirdly, the person is justified in believing the claim. Listen, first one, the person claim is true. Second one, the person believes the claim, and the person is justified in believing the claim. Okay, so these are the three ways in which we can arrive at a certain knowledge. Okay, and this was continued even in times of René Descartes and John Locke, either empirical knowledge or rational knowledge. All of them are justified, has to be justified to believe. Okay, so with this we come to the end of the first tutorial. In the next one we'll be discussing get your problem. Please subscribe and stay updated.